my name is Katarina Sullivan and I would like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. I've been super nervous this week because there's been construction work happening outside my house, and I got to the stage where I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to record a video because of all the crashing and banging going on, but they're finished and so you have me, which is awesome. I'm hoping you're here because you think it's awesome that we're doing this video. I know today is the ACT election. We covered it a couple of weeks ago, but I'm not going to talk about it today because they are still counting votes and I've got nothing really new to add other than if I was going to cover everyone's policies, which would be redundant by now anyway because you probably should have voted. And if you're watching this right now and you're a Canberra resident and you haven't voted, go now, vote, do it, do the thing, go vote. Otherwise you get into trouble by me. I'll be grumpy. We will cover the ACT election next week, but this week we're covering the Queensland election, which is occurring in 2 weeks. Why are we doing it this way? I want to give you some time to wrap your head around the system so it's not election day and you're like frantically Googling, where's that crazy woman that talks about politics, and so she can help me how to vote. I'm trying to get you all the information ahead of schedule, and it means if you want to pre-poll, you can because you know how to fill out the ballot paper. It's going to be a very straightforward video. You're not going to have to put up with my annoying face or voice for too long this week. Unlike last week where you had to sit with me for half an hour. It was a very long video. We had a lot to get through. This one will be super quick. It is about the Queensland election, which is on the 31st of October. I just wanted to run through a few quick things of how to vote because it is a little bit different to other states. In the past, we've spoken about bicameral and unicameral. Bicameral meaning that there are two houses in Parliament, so usually the lower and the upper house. If you think about federal parliament, we've got the Senate and the House of Representatives. In ACT, we covered, not last video, the video before, there's only one house, so it's unicameral. I have a little bit of history with the Italian language. Camera in Italian, and I assume therefore probably in Latin, is room. So it's like uni, one, camera, room, by two, camera, room. So it's like two rooms. Houses. So Queensland only has the one house, which means at the election you only have to fill out one ballot paper, which is awesome. A few quick things about voting. Obviously, if you have any questions, head to the Queensland Electoral Commission website because they have all the answers you might need as to whether or not you're registered to vote, what electorate you're in, where your polling booths are. All of those fun questions that you need to know for election day. You can pre-poll. When you get the piece of paper, it is a single piece of paper and it will have your candidates' names down the list, and you need to fill out all of the boxes, numbers 1 to however many boxes there are. And 1 is your first preference, 2 your second preference, so on and so forth. If you need a bit more of an understanding on this, you can head back in time to last year where I covered how to vote in the federal election for the lower house because it is a very similar voting style. So it's what's called full preferential voting, which means that you have to fill out all of your preferences in order for your vote to be considered valid. The Queensland Electoral Commission has heaps of resources in many languages, so if English isn't your strongest language, feel free to head over and check it out in one of those 27 languages that they offer it in. If you're wondering what the current state of affairs are in Queensland, there is currently a Labor government in power under Premier Palaszczuk. The Liberal Party is led by Deb Frecklington. And they are campaigning really hard to win government in Queensland. I know I went into a lot of detail about the ACT election and this one is very brief. The reason for that is that the Hare-Clark system is so different to Queensland's system. I think the biggest difference of Queensland to any other states and territories is the fact it is unicameral. Of course, we're also unicameral in ACT too, but it is quite rare for a state to have a unicameral government. And it's important to know because it means that you're just filling out that one ballot paper. Same as the federal election, you go, you check in, you make sure your name is crossed off the list so you don't get a fine in the mail, you grab the paper, head to a polling booth, and you fill it out, make sure there's no one around you to influence you. If you need to get one of those how to vote cards, people are allowed to be handing them out away from the entrance to the polling center, but you can grab one off one of the volunteers if you don't know how to get your preferred candidate in and where your preferences should go. They're always a great guide. Otherwise, do your research, have a look into your candidates. There'll be a list of candidates on the Electoral Commission website so you can look into their policies. Most candidates have social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and they'll usually have a website outlining their policies. You can also contact them. We're getting this video in nice and early, so you do have a couple of weeks to harass them with your questions. You can call them, you can show up to their mobile offices, make sure you get engaged, because we have this awesome opportunity to vote in this country. So do your part of the civic duty and do your research so you make sure that you can make your vote count. Super easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl. That's all I have to say about the matter. If you have any questions, please let me know. Next week we'll be covering the outcomes of the ACT election, so be sure to tune in. And in the meantime, stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, do all the things, and yeah, we'll see you next week.